Hello, and my name is Janet Youngblood. Okay, I'm going to start my answers from the bottom up. My interest in transformative learning has been enhanced by my teaching Japanese drum. Taiko, which means drum in Japanese, involves a circle of people, almost in the model of sociocracy, where there is no leader, no director per se, and it's over and over again you see people from all walks of life join in the wadaiko, the circle of sound, and become one team. And so you see transformational learning in a very different way, as a way to create a group with a common purpose, which is to sound like one drum, even though there are many drums. So that's the place where I most often experience transformational learning. The people all profess different aspects of change in their lives from studying taiko drum. It follows in a long Buddhist tradition of losing the ego and staying in the moment. And so that theory may inform transformation in this particular activity, but it's endlessly fascinating. In my other work, I'm interested in agency, how people take change in their own lives into the community. Oh gosh, I think transformative learning is, as this conference has pointed out, is now worldwide. And it appears in many practices throughout the world. So it's a very flexible learning theory. One of the sort of unexamined ideas about it, I think, that we're looking at this conference is whether it's as frequent as people think. Bringing your underlying assumptions into consciousness is very hard work. And it may be that some transformational processes are also mixtures of other things, and we might benefit from including the other things into our dialogue about what it is to undergo transformational learning. I think as you grow up and you get older, you're challenged by experiences in which your own learning fails you, and you find yourself in what Larry Green calls a liminal space. So I've been very interested in trying to better understand how people come in and out of liminal spaces, meaning space that is unfamiliar to you, where your rituals or your habits of mind are no longer proving to be successful. And I've also decided that people undergo multiple transformations because life, if they live long enough, keeps changing. And so I've been interested in transformational learning and the inevitable change, both in democratic and governance structures, in politics, and also in economics. For example, the market collapse, and how we as a culture deal with enormous socio-political change, and whether it's at the system level or at the individual level, and how can we promote healthy transformation. People always assume that transformation is going to be in the direction of positive change. And in my experience, I've seen it go both ways. Some people have argued that right now we're in a moment where fascism is becoming very dominant in our culture, and I agree with that. And it shows you that change can be very much for the good and very much for the bad, and we need to educate ourselves better to examine how to protect ourselves from destructive change. Oh, it's wonderful to know that there are people of goodwill and energy and intelligence all working for a common improvement. Again, I think those of us in transformational learning as scholars and practitioners are seeking positive change for the greatest number of people. So just knowing that the association is there, it's worldwide, you know, it's very heartwarming when you confront negativity and see so many people struggling, you know, to accomplish in their lives what they'd like to. I think I've had multiple transformations. First in childhood. I was born into a large family, and we moved from a very sheltered environment with grandparents and extended family into a kind of an isolated environment in the Bay Area back in the early 50s. And then I watched the transformation of my own family and found that I needed to adapt and change. So that was probably one of the changes that I remember and that I can analyze. And then, of course, the challenges of the university. I went to a very small school, and I met people who challenged a lot of my assumptions and ideas about the world. I'll never forget, someone said to me, "You're a wasp." And I said, "Is there a bee on me?" And they said, "No, you're a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant." And I had never been, you know, labeled in that way. So those are two of them, and I could continue for many hours, where I think I'm relatively open to new experience. And so I like to change now, whereas there was a time in my life where I found change very frightening. What I love about the conference are the people. I've already met a lot of people who I think we will become long-term friends. I've reignited friendships with people I haven't seen in many years because we come from far away and we come only occasionally, you know, to this community. I love the fact that people listen to each other. They are constantly seeking new perspectives. It's a very lively, intellectual environment to be part of. So I love it.
Great.